Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of the Happy Knitting Podcast. My name is Julia and I'm coming to you from Germany. Today is Sunday, the 14th of May 2017. So thank you so much for tuning in to watch my podcast today. If you're a new viewer, I hope that you like it and maybe you'll subscribe and become a regular viewer soon. And if you're coming back, thank you ever so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. So this is a knitting podcast. Before we go into the main content, I briefly wanted to say thank you, a huge thank you to everyone who reached out after my last episode. With my little rant, I didn't mean to ask you guys to send me all these beautiful messages. I didn't mean it as a fishing for compliments sort of thing. But I did really appreciate everyone who did reach out and send me a lovely message or comment or anything. I really liked it, and I'm so grateful to have such lovely viewers. Thank you so much for your kind words. Also, thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday yesterday. That was super sweet, and I really appreciate that as well. So, I'm recording this for like the millionth time. So I'm hoping to get through this now and not have to go back and restart everything once more. So first of all, let's talk about the Ravelry group. That's where you'll find all of the show notes. I'm going to try to keep this very brief today. We'll see how that works out, but if you have any questions regarding my projects or needle sizes, colorways, patterns, designers, everything will be linked in the show notes. And the show notes can be found in our Ravelry group, which is called the Happy Knitting Podcast group. So do go over and join that group because there's a lot of fun stuff going on in there. Mostly we have the knit-alongs running there, which are fun. And again, I won't go into the details today, but just go check it out. We have the Keeping It Vanilla Cow and the One Ball with Love sock knit-along. Both are sock knit-alongs. Go check it out and have a look and be inspired by everyone who has already participated. I'm so inspired by all your finished objects and works in progress. I really enjoy these knit-alongs. We also have a coupon codes thread, and there's quite a few coupon codes in there at the moment, so go check that out as well. And I will just jump in straight into finished objects. So, I feel like I have crazy hair today. The thing is, when I wear makeup and have to be dressed up at work all day, all week long, the last thing I want to do on the weekends is get dressed up and put on makeup. So you kind of get this, but that's fine. And I have had quite a bit of coffee, which you might be able to tell. If you can, I'm sorry. So 2 finished objects. First of all, I finished my, what's it called? Outline wrap. So the outline wrap is a pattern by Hedgehog Fibers. You can find it on their website, which is hedgehogfibers.com, I believe. It's a free pattern. And all I did was use scrap yarn. So I just used all the sock yarn minis that people had sent me, that I had left over, everything that kind of fit into my color scheme. I made a huge gradient cake of yarn, and then I just magic knotted all the colors together and knit this wrap. I knit it on 3.5mm US size 4 needles. I really enjoy this pattern, and I could not recommend it enough. It is very simple, so you kind of get the idea after a couple of rows, but it's not like endless rows of garter stitch or anything, which kind of bores me. So it's still wet. I haven't woven in the ends, but you get the idea. It's really drapey. I did block it quite aggressively, which I think it needed, and now I love it. I love it so much. I have this huge gradient cake of, I think, 260 grams of yarn, and I was going to use all of it, and I was on the second to last color, and I didn't really like the color of the yarn that I was working on, and I was just so kind of ready to be done with this. So I just decided I'm a grown-up. I can do whatever I want, and I just cast off, and I didn't regret it at all. I think maybe I have like 10 of maybe 20 grams of yarn left, but I just couldn't face knitting on this another row. So I just bound off, and I think it's fine. It's quite big, as you can see. I'm not going to put it on, but I will in the future, I promise. Yeah, I love it. I love how colorful it is. I think it's going to go with everything because there's essentially every color in there. And I have a navy coat, and I think it's going to go beautifully with that. So yeah, very excited about this one. I also finished a pair of socks. Actually, both of these finished objects I finished yesterday on my birthday. So yesterday I woke up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday. The reasons behind which are that life is crazy, work is crazy, there's a lot of stuff going on that I'm not sharing with you right now. And I woke up, I was thinking about work, and I just at some point decided rather than spend my birthday morning thinking about work, I might as well get up and do some knitting. So I really enjoyed the peace and quiet in the morning because my sisters were staying over and my boyfriend was obviously there. Everyone was sleeping and I finished some socks. So these socks I knit toe up, 2 at a time. I knit tubes and then put in afterthought heels. So let's talk about the yarn first. The yarn was sent to me to try from Studio C Yarn, who is a German indie dyer. Her name is Clara, and she's really lovely. She has beautiful yarn. This is her Potion Class Identical Speckled Fade colorway, and it's a 75% merino, 25% polyamide yarn. So it came into already wound gradient cakes, so I just started knitting toe up with this sort of teal. And what I really like is how you can see there's like the first speck of pink, and then it becomes more pink and speckled towards the top, which is so beautiful. The pattern that I used are the Charade socks, which is a free sock pattern. I only modified it to put 4 knit stitches between these Charade stitches instead of 2, which are written in the pattern. And yeah, I really enjoy these socks. I put in afterthought heels, and I think they turned out really great as well. You can't really tell that I used the yarn that I had left over after I finished here, because while the speckles are slightly different, the base color is the same, I think. So I think these turned out really great. A word about Clara's yarn, I think it's beautiful. Her dye technique is really interesting. I really like the way that her speckles are dyed up, and the base is sort of the perfect combination between soft but still sturdy. So it's definitely a soft yarn, but not one of those yarns where I think they're gonna pill after one wear. I think these are going to hold up really well, and I throw all of my socks in the washing machine, but I feel more or less confident about that. But with these ones, I'm not worried about it at all. I think these will hold up really well. If you can see, I knit a very long ribbing at the top, which I don't usually do. I do like a long sort of rib cuff at the top because I think the socks wear a lot better and a lot more comfortably. But usually I'm not in the mood to knit like endless rounds of 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 rib. But for these ones, I somehow felt like it, and I think, yeah, I'm super happy about these. These will be for me. I used 2.25 millimeter US size 1 needles, and I did 64 stitches. So yeah, I'm so excited about these, you guys. I love these. So let's move on to some work in progress. My hair is crazy. It's freaking me out. That's the thing about recording oneself, right? So first of all, I did 3 squares in my second Cozy Memories blanket, which is based on the Coziest Memories blanket pattern by Kemper Ray, except I'm doing 56 stitches and I'm using a US size 0 or 2 millimeter needle. So this is my second one. I'm using my first one all the time. Kai really loves it, so I'm excited to have a second one on the go. And I put in 3 of the minis that I was sent last week, or I showed off last week. So this one is from Piratenwolle. I have no idea about the colorway. This is a self-striping yarn from Stripey Cat Yarns, which was really fun to try because I've never tried any of her yarns. And it actually ended up being very close to another self-striper, which I thought was fun. And this one is, I can't remember the colorway. It's from Amy of Stranded Dye Works, whom I love. And this is, I think, something to do with reef dive? I think it's reef dive. So I'm really excited to have that in my blanket as a mini because I kind of want a full skein of this. And yeah, so 3 squares done, which is not a whole lot, but I'm happy as long as I'm making some kind of progress on this. And I'm in no rush. Except with this podcast, because I'm clearly rushing this. I'm very caffeinated today. So next I am working on my socks using yarn that I was also sent to try from lovely Maike. Maike has the Das Regenbogenschaf store, which is another German indie dyer. I should say she's another German indie dyer. And she sent me her Pinter base to try, which is a very, very special sock base, but doesn't have to be socks. But it's out of, what is it? Wool, silk, and ramie. So that's a really interesting sock blend, and I really like it. I'm knitting the Union Square socks, which is Mina Phillips' newest sock pattern as part of her New York Sock Club. And it's my favorite of the patterns that she released for that club so far. I absolutely love it, and it's just flying off my needles. So there are different ways to knit this. There's like a right-leaning eyelet and a left-leaning eyelet, and what I'm doing is I'm alternating. And let's see. So this is what the pattern looks like. I think it is absolutely stunning, and it's really, really fun to knit as well. So definitely my favorite so far. You can see the stitch marker is where I was last week, so I've done quite a bit of progress. I think I'm almost ready to put in a toe. I just really haven't been wanting to do the mass. But I'm going to do a purple toe and possibly a purple afterthought heel. I'm not quite sure yet. And then the other sock will be the opposite. So it's going to be the main color will be the purple and the accent color will be the blue. So I think these will be super fun. I am loving the yarn. The yarn, I've talked about it before. It's so beautiful, but with the silk it has this sheen, and I think the tonality, everything works really well with this yarn. And again, this is a very sort of sturdy yarn, but also quite soft. So yeah, I'm really excited to wear these. I kind of want more of Maike's yarn because it's beautiful. And she's one of the lovely people who has donated a coupon code, so do check out the Ravelry group and maybe snag some of her yarn. Maybe I should snag some of her yarn today. We'll see. But I'm knitting the medium size on 2.25mm higher sharps, by the way. So I think I'm going to put in the heel today, and then hopefully the toe today, and then get started on the second one. In this bag I have another pair of socks, which sadly have not seen very much progress. I'm so caught in second sock syndrome with this sock. So I'm just going to go through this very briefly. This is the first sock, which I had already done last week. This is going to be for my sister. It's a vanilla sock with a fish lips kiss heel. And I did knit a little bit of the leg, maybe 3/4 of the leg, because my sister has tiny feet. I'm just so sick of this yarn. I don't know why. It's pretty and there's nothing wrong with it. I just am not feeling it anymore. So I'm just going to have to sit down at some point and finish these freaking socks and then be done with them. Like I said, totally my problem. There's nothing wrong with these. I'm just not feeling it. So I'm not going to go into more detail. It's a bit of a sad story with these socks, but oh well. Next I have my Excuse Me shawl, and I honestly have no idea how much I've worked on this. Let's see what the stitch marker says. Yeah, I've done about 3 rows, but I'm going to show it quite briefly. So this is the Excuse Me shawl by Stephen West. I'm knitting it for the second time. I'm once again knitting it in fingering white yarn, which is not what you're supposed to do, but who cares. So this is one side. It's a brioche. It's a 2-color brioche shawl, and my needles are starting to be too short to show this off. So this is the one side, and then the other side looks like this. So I love this pattern. I knit it before, as I said, and I wear it all the time. And this is using some very, very fancy yarns. So the dark color is a German indie dyed yarn from Das Mondschaf, in her Pegasus base, which is a 70% wool, 25% polyamide, but that doesn't really work. I'm guessing it's a 75-25, and the colorway is Rapture. And then the lighter color is from Vine Yarns, and it's in her Volke base, which is her MCN, so it's a merino cashmere nylon base, and the colorway is Pandora. So yeah, I'm super excited about this. I just haven't really been knitting on it, and now the rows are kind of getting longish. They're not really long yet, but I know what's to come. And yeah, I've just been working on this on and off. But I am really enjoying it. I'm using 3.5mm needles. As usual, for shawls, I pretty much always use my Adi lace needles, which are my favorite needles for garments and shawls and such. So that's my Excuse Me shawl. I also cast on a new project yesterday because I decided I have to cast on something for my birthday, especially after finishing 2 projects. So I cast on a sock blank that's been in my stash for a while. It's from Laughing Yaffle, who is in the UK. I absolutely love her. I feel like not that many people know of her, but she does beautiful yarns like self-striping and sock blanks and variegated and minis. And this is a it's called Yaffle Sock Spiral. It's a 75-25 superwash merino nylon in the colorway Sugar Hiccup. And this sock blank is crazy colorful. I love it. I think it's beautiful. Maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but I love it. So I cast on the sock yesterday, and this is what it looks like. I'm of course doing vanilla socks because I love vanilla socks, and we have the Keeping It Vanilla cowl at the moment. And I especially love vanilla socks for sock blank socks because I just feel like it shows off the color the most. So as you can see, it's kind of like confetti. It's super, super speckly, and I love it. I think it's really happy. It's the perfect birthday cast on colorway. And because this sock blank has sort of like, not even speckles, but not like huge patches of color, I think these socks are going to be not matchy, but kind of fraternal twins for sure. So I'm really enjoying these. This yarn is crazy soft. I've only knit with her glitter base before, which I loved. But this is so soft, I don't know what she did with it. But these are going to be some very, very cozy socks. Again, these will probably be for me. I'm doing 64 stitches on 2.25mm needles. And if you're wondering why the fabric doesn't look that nice, that's just because I'm knitting from a sock blank and the yarn, as you can see, is like this. So once you wear these and block these, they'll become just like regular socks and are going to be even more beautiful. So yeah, I'm really excited about this, and this is flying off the needles for sure. So I just recorded the entire acquisition segment, but I hadn't actually recorded. So that was stupid. So let's do this again. First, let me talk about the things that I got myself, because I have no shame and it's my birthday month. So the other day I saw this in a German store called Butler's, which if you're in Germany, I'm sure you know this. How awesome is this bag? They had this sort of print for like iPad cases and beauty bags and different sizes, and I just could not leave it there. I think this cost me like $3 or something. And it does smell very plasticky. It is very plasticky, but I just could not leave it there. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this as a project bag, or maybe I'll use it for my interchangeable needles or something, because it has a pocket. I think it has to live on my balcony for a while because it does smell kind of bad, but it was just so cute and I just couldn't leave it there. So I picked this up, and then I've really been wanting some hedgehog fibers because I've been touching the hedgehog fiber minis that I got from my friend last week. So I blame you. You know who you are. So I really just had to get myself some more hedgehog fiber sock yarn. I do actually have 2 skeins of hedgehog in my stash, but I haven't dared to use it because they're both so beautiful. So I'm thinking now that I have more hedgehog fibers, maybe I have less of a problem to knit with it. So I got myself 2 skeins of hedgehog fiber sock yarn. This one is in the Oracle colorway, which I love. I've been wanting this forever. It's a really out there sort of colorway, and I really wanted to get some out of my comfort zone colorways because I could buy like pink speckles all day long and just do that, but I don't want to keep buying the same stuff all over again. So this is really awesome. It has a sort of charcoal gray, and then it has a mix of like neon yellow and green, and then also this warm yellow and pink, and it's just so beautiful. So I'm very excited about this. And then the second colorway that I got Dum da da da. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. This is of course Fool's Gold, which is again a very popular colorway by Hedgehog. And I've been wanting this forever and ever. It's a super warm yellow with some black specks at the top, and then look at these crazy colors going through here. These are just stunning. I just love this so much. I think this may have to become socks because I love my Hedgehog fiber socks. I have one pair and I wear them all the time. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about this. I have no regrets whatsoever. These just had to come home and live with me, and they're mine and I love them. And it's my birthday month, so I can treat myself to a little bit of birthday yarn as well. So that's it for my actual purchases. And I'll just show you what I got in terms of Yarnie gifts. And the most amazing and crazy yarn gift came from my friend Marion. This was the first thing I unwrapped yesterday morning. I had been staring at the package for like a week and it had been killing me. And oh my gosh, I may have cried a little bit. She gave me this beautiful project bag with her label on it. She doesn't sell these, she just makes them because she's freaking talented. And this fabric at the bottom, I think she's made a couple of project bags and things for other people out of it, and I just love it. I've been kind of wanting it for a long time. And she made me this beautiful drawstring bag. It is just stunning. So it closes beautifully. It's the perfect size. I absolutely love it. It's also fully lined. It has a pocket in here, which I'm so impressed with because I'm so bad at sewing. This is just amazing. And she didn't stop with that. She gave me a beautiful card, and I think one or two people who know me really, really well might already know where this is going, because this yarn that she photographed here is a yarn that I've been wanting for forever and ever. It's a certain Shibot Garnet colorway that she had. She did a pair of socks out of them, and already when she was knitting on it, I was so jealous and I loved it, and I think she kind of tried to even gift me the socks, which I couldn't take her up on, and then she gave me a mini out of it, and I've just been obsessing over this colorway, but somehow I never actually went and actually bought it because that wouldn't have been that hard, but instead I've just been lusting after it. And so, awesome friend that she is, she got me a skein of this exact colorway. How beautiful is this? I can't believe it. Looking at it on screen again, it is just the most beautiful colorway in the world. So this is from Shibot Garnet, who I've mentioned plenty of times, and it's their 75% merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina yarn. And I actually have not ever felt or seen Nadine's stellina base, so I'm really excited about this. This feels really nice and luxurious. And the colorway is Hot Kisses. I am so freaking excited about this, it's not even funny. So I think this might become a very special pair of socks, or it might become something different entirely different. Yeah, I'm at a loss of words here, but this is just so beautiful and was the best Yarnie birthday gift ever. So again, this is going to have to live in my stash for a while because it's just too beautiful to cast on right away, but it will be cast on. So thank you, Marion, honestly. Coffee. I'm so crazy. Then my beautiful sister Pauline, she actually got me some yarn. I had no idea. She wrapped it and kind of hinted at something completely different, so I was absolutely clueless when I unwrapped it. And she got me 2 beautiful balls of lace yarn. So I unwrapped this one first, and she kind of commented that she thought this colorway is incredibly boring, but she knew that I was going to like it, and that's exactly it. I love a good gray. So actually both of these are, I think, a new Regia colorway, yarn. It's by Schachenmeier, who I believe is Regia. It's a merino extra fine lace yarn. So one ball is 50 grams. And it's 285 meters. So it's kind of like a heavy lace weight, I guess. So she got me this one, and you can see it has sort of like a gradient effect, which I think is going to be really, really pretty when it's knit up. And then she also got me this red one, which again has like different sort of tones of red in here, and kind of goes almost into like a purple. So this is really beautiful, and I completely did not expect it, and I love that my sister actually put so much thought into this, and yeah, this is really, really beautiful yarn, and I can't wait to knit with it. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing with this yet. She kind of wanted me to knit a shawl out of both of these and combine them, but I'm not sure if I want to keep them separate. But beautiful yarn. And I have way too little red in my stash. I really like red, lately at least, but I don't ever buy red yarn. So I love this. And then, of course, my lovely boyfriend Kai, he knows my love of Shibot Garn. So I got even more Shibot Garn for my birthday. And this is really funny. This might look familiar to some of you because I had this exact same skein once before, I think sometime last year, as a prize. So Nadine sent it to me as a prize, and then eventually my lovely friend Grace actually won it. And so she made an amulet shawl out of this. So it was really funny to unpack this, and I knew exactly what it was. And yeah, now I have a skein of this as well. So this is Shibot Garn in their soft sock base, which is an 80/20, and I talked a million times and more about how much I love this base. And the colorway is, of course, waterfall. So I was really surprised to get this from Kai because it's kind of a little bit out of my color comfort zone, at least out of my usual colors. And I had no idea that he ordered a Shibot Garn for me, but it's beautiful and I love it. And yeah, the birthday Yarnie gifts were very, very, very awesome this year. So that's it in terms of yarn. So if you're only here for the knitting and yarn, then by all means just watch again next week, and thank you for watching. I'm going to continue to just waffle on a little bit about non-Yarnie birthday gifts and life in general. So if you're sticking around, I just wanted to share 2 more birthday presents because I know that some of you, like me, might be slightly obsessed with Gilmore Girls, and my other sister, Elisa, the small one, I say small, she's like almost 16 now. She is also Gilmore Girls obsessed, and we kind of share this Gilmore Girls bond, and we love it. So she gave me the most amazing birthday gift ever. Dun da da! I've been wanting a Luke's mug forever and ever and ever, and I had no idea, and my entire family and Kai, everyone knew about this birthday gift and kept telling me how awesome it was going to be, and I was ridiculously curious and excited, and I have a Luke's mug and it's awesome, and oh my gosh, I love it so much. And also because Kai also knows my obsession with Gilmore Girls, and he wrote me a card and he said, yarn because you love yarn, and the other thing because I really do listen to you sometimes. And I mentioned, I think once, that I would like to read this book, which is the biography of Lauren Graham, who plays, of course, Lorelai. And he got it for me, and this was a complete surprise. I've heard mixed reviews about this book, but I am very, very excited about this. We're actually going on a 4-day holiday about 10 days from now, so I think I'm going to keep it until then. But I'm really excited to dig into this book. If you have read it, let me know what you thought. I'm really interested to hear. And yeah, look. How do I get to these ideas? How do I get to this point? Anyways, so I just thought that might be worth sharing, and I'd be interested to hear if you have read this so far. So that's it for my acquisitions and gifts, and everyone who has spoiled me, thank you so much. And for life in general, honestly, there's not that much to tell because yeah, I kind of thought whether I would even record a life in general section this week because a lot of stuff I'm not really ready or able or anything to talk about, and it might not be that interesting to you either. Don't worry, I'm not pregnant if that's what you're thinking. All the secrecy is about. No, it's not. For my birthday yesterday, no, hang on. My birthday was on Saturday, but on Friday night my family came to visit, which was lovely because I kind of didn't really feel like having a huge drive and all that after work on Friday night, so they actually drove down to Munich. We had the best meal ever at my favorite Turkish restaurant, which is just around the corner from here. It's so good. It's amazing. And we had so much fun and just hung out. And then my sisters stayed at our place. And my parents stayed in a hotel around the corner. We had amazing breakfast on my birthday morning yesterday. And then we basically spent the entire day running around the city doing lots of different things. We did a tiny bit of shopping and just hung out, and it was really, really, really fun. I was very exhausted because it felt like we walked like 10 miles, which we didn't, but it kind of felt like that. Um, what else? Yeah, it's just been a lovely day, to be honest. The weather forecast was pretty bad, so I was really worried that we'd be stuck inside or wouldn't be able to do anything. But it actually was really, really nice, almost like summery, almost. So in the end, we had dinner outside in the beer garden, just close to where we live, and it was just really, really lovely. And then, of course, I also got my new laptop, which I'm just so excited about. It is just, my old laptop was hell. So now that I have a working, fast laptop, I'm just super excited because podcast editing and the likes will just be so much easier now. So yeah, very excited about that. Today I have a few things to prepare for work-wise, which is such a boring thing to do on a Sunday. But besides that, everything is going really good. I think we're just going to hang out. I want to do lots of knitting, and yeah, that's essentially it. So I feel like this might have been a bit rushed. I'm sorry if it was, but oh well. I hope you guys have had a wonderful weekend. Have a great week. I would love to hear from you in the Ravelry group, in the comments on Instagram. And I will probably see you next weekend. So until I see you again, happy knitting, have a great week, and thank you so much for watching my podcast. See you soon. Bye.